It's called the Nefarious Nephron. And you'll find out why we named that in a minute. But basically, in this episode, you guys are going to discover how to, by the end of this episode, you will get a fun study note for the nephron diagram. So for those of you who are taking IGCSE Biology out there, this is for you.
Oh, all yes, right. We are on Twitch right now.
Oh, we are on Twitch? Yeah.
I mean, it shows up on Twitch already.
Oh, cool. Wow, I didn't think it would work so quickly, but cool. All right, guys, if you like to watch Twitch, also we're there.
Yep.
Oh, there. Okay.
Yes, there we are.
Let's see. Oh, nice. We just decided to go for it because we want this note-taking method to reach as many people as possible because because basically I don't know how many of I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you ever encountered this yet, Joe, but remember last time in science class we have to remember like the diagram for the eyeball.
Yeah.
And then
not
the
only
ear.
that, like every single part of your body, basically.
Yeah, and then the ear as well, right? Like I always found that back in school that those were the two most like difficult diagrams I feel to remember. Yeah, and it is frustrating because like when you're done with the exam, then you won't remember it, and then when the final exam rolls around, for example, because we get tested like middle of the year, quarter of the year, or every quarter, depending on which school you're from. And so you spend your time memorizing all of that, and then you forget. And then for your final exam where they test everything, you have to study just as hard all over again.
Yep.
Yeah, and even after studying that hard, you basically like for me, I would forget like one or two, like of the things, and I'll lose marks, and then because of those 2 marks or those 3 marks, hi Kenny, because of those few marks, it's like you miss out on your A, and then if like I've got, and then if you have typically Asian parents, they're gonna be like, so what happened to those 2 marks? And sometimes it's not the sort of marks you get back by bagging a teacher, right?
Why did you use the 2 marks?
Yeah.
Careless mistakes.
98%. What happened to the other 2?
Careless mistakes.
Yes, kids with Asian parents will know this.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you also have a set of like a very and if you're non-Asian, it's rare that we'll find you guys with parents who really, really care about the grades. I find it very rare anyway. Yeah. So, okay. So let's begin. All right. So, yes. All right. So basically, to avoid this problem, that's where ImagiNotes steps in. And this session, we just wanted to show you guys, like, we took a break from chemistry because we want to show you guys that the ImagiNotes techniques can be applied to any subject. So for those of you who are just joining us, ImagiNotes is basically a creative note-taking method that helps you avoid memorizing, because memorizing for studying does not work. And hi, I'm Teacher Erica, and this is Teacher Joe, and we're teachers, but we hated memorizing did not work for us. So we had to get super creative with how we went about it, so we could have more time to play, spend less time studying, and in my case, still get good grades. Because Joe is one of the lucky ones with hip and cool Asian parents who never worried about his grades or never badgered him about his grades. But he's one of the best learners that I know. Yeah. And so we've been doing this for a while. And Joe, if they want to know more, and find more old notes that we've done before, what can they do?
You can go to our playlist or hit the subscribe button for YouTube and Twitch for now. Or you can also follow us on Instagram. So for those videos that we have recorded or the live session that we did, and you want to revisit, right, just go to our channel and then just scroll all the way, like the playlist. It's all there.
Awesome. Yep. And we normally keep it to half an hour, just so that because we know attention spans are short. And the other reason is that, I mean, you guys should just go and play. We're
Yes.
big believers of that. You should just go play, get good rest, and let us help you figure out how to cut down on your study time. Yeah. So join us every week with a pen and a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, or your notebook, and just join us. Yeah, we because notes are generally personal to holder. So what that means is that it generally makes more sense to the person who has created it. So even if I pass you, say, all our past ImagiNotes, you may not actually understand like what it is until someone actually explains it to you or something. So that's why we do these live sessions, so that you understand what the thought process was. And if it doesn't work for you, you can always modify it and modify the note or the way to remember to basically to something that actually works for you.
Yeah,
that's what I meant to say. All right, so today, as we do the kidney, basically the nephron is located in the kidney, and the
yes.
kidney is made of these little things. I actually wanted to hang on. I want to do something.
You have the bean. Nope. Okay. So for those who are new to our channel or video, you can say hi in the comment section below. Hello.
Hi. Yep. Because we love chatting people, and we do this basically for our students in school as well. This is how I teach geography and anything else. But basically, Joe and I design games for learning for teenagers. Yeah, because not enough people are doing that for you guys. It's more difficult, to do so compared to like ABC 1, 2, 3. Okay,
Yeah.
so the nephron is located in.
Hi, Teacher Charles. What is that?
Hi, Teacher Charles. Because remember when we were discussing this over lunch yesterday, Joe?
Yeah.
Remember we said we wanted to bring a kidney
Kidney
bean?
bean.
So in place of a hi, Teacher Charles. So in place of a kidney, here we go, a kidney bean. A giant kidney. Okay, so imagine that this is a giant kidney, and the kidney contains nephrons.
Nephrons.
Tons and tons of nephrons. Yeah, which clears out water. Toxins.
Stuff.
Yes. So basically it's that. All right. So guys, we are not science teachers in any way, shape, or form, but our job is to help make learning science fun, and also basically to cut down on your study time, because there are far more important things in life to pursue than just study. Okay. Yeah. So we're always about that. All right. So there we go. All right. Kidney. Nephron.
Wait, that's a spam.
All right. Let's begin. Yep. So this is what Nat was talking about.
Yeah.
Joe.
That's from Twitch, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we could probably kind of axe that.
Okay.
Okay. So why we called it nefarious? So earlier on, I talked about the nefarious nephron. Why did we use the word nefarious? Because according to the bio teachers in our school, many of you struggle to remember this particular diagram. So we're gonna get started, okay? All right. So to save time, I kind of pre-drew the diagram here, okay? And again, for ImagiNotes, you don't have to be fabulous at drawing. I'm not. All right. And generally, when I teach this in class, I try not to make the diagram so fancy, because I think what it does is that it alienates my students who can't draw. Yeah, but if you can draw and you can make it pretty, go ahead. Yeah. So nothing's gonna stop you. Just that for me, I prefer to make sure that kids who can't draw also know that they can do this too, because everyone can do an ImagiNote. It doesn't matter whether you can draw or not draw. Yes. Teacher Charles, are kidneys bean-shaped or beans kidney-shaped? You just had to, Teacher Charles. You just had to. So Teacher Charles is from the school that we're from as well. He's awesome. If you guys ever follow Duyamas or Sriyamas International School social media, you will see that sometimes we will feature Teacher Charles because he teaches history, through murder mysteries. And how else have you done it, Teacher Charles? Yeah, murder mysteries, and he
Role play.
created basically a pixel adventure for his kids. For I can't remember which topic it is, but he does stuff like that. Yeah, he gets all dressed up for history. So it's basically very immersive, and that's how we like to teach generally. All right, but this is for those of you who are taking O levels and don't have time anymore, and you just want to move on with it. So these are notes. So that's why this note taking method is supposed to save you time. If I ever repeated that enough, because time is of the essence. Can't buy time. All right. So basically, let's start with it. All right. Now, how do you remember this? Okay. Let's start with. Okay. All right. We're gonna start with what is called the glomerular capsule. And if I'm pronouncing this wrongly, pardon me, because I'm not a science teacher, so I'm gonna butcher. All right, which is over here. Okay. Glomerular capsule. Okay, now how I would draw it to remember it. So it's this technique that we call memenomics. So that's where so memes are highly relatable, right? Every time you see a meme, you're like, yes, can totally relate to this, right? So I love memes because it is basically an art and it's something that's so relatable to everybody. So in this case as well, when you create your study notes, it should be as relatable as possible. Joe, do you have anything else to add?
No, not really. Just make sure like the style suits you and it's friendly to you. Basically, just make use of whatever that's more makes you feel comfortable. You don't have to stress yourself out of it.
Cool. Wise words from the Joe. All right. So here we go. All right. So basically, an ImagiNotes gets its name from trying to relate it to things in your life, things that are familiar, fun, and fascinating to you. So in this case, when I saw the word glomerular capsule, I decided to put a glowing man in a capsule. Yeah. So, and in the original version of the notes, I put him saying "Yula," which is very Malaysian. It's a very Malaysian expression, like "Yula." Like when people, that's usually when people blame each other. Like when parents, like if a kid drops the thing or something happens, and the parents are like, "Yula, you go and do that." All right. Yep. So I normally draw a guy. So I put here Eular, okay? And that's because I actually read this as glomerular. So I drew, so initially it was a glowing man. So another way you can do this is you can draw a glowing man holding a ruler as well, because it's ruler, yeah, to kind of help you. So it's a glowing man in a capsule holding a ruler. So glomerular capsule, okay?
Glomerular.
Yeah. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, but so tricky. All right, the next part is all right, at this stage, and I feel your pain. I feel a lot of my students' pain when I see this. At this stage, at upper form, right, it's kind of difficult to make things fun. Okay, so especially for yourself. So that's why we're kind of doing this as well. So because you have terms like this, afferent arterial, like what the heck? All right. So when you encounter stuff like this, for me personally, it sounds like a furry bird, because arterial, like an oriole, kind of like it has a similar kind of sound. So what I would draw here is a furry bird.
Okay.
As round and fluffy and cute as possible, if you like cute things. Okay, cool. There we go. So that helps me remember a furry, because furry and then arterial sounds like a bird to me. Okay. Another way you can do this is also, if you need to remember arterial, you could also draw this little thingy holding a paintbrush. So it's an afferent arterial. Okay. So artistic bird, furry artistic bird. Okay, that makes sense. But if you guys are enjoying the episode so far, and enjoying the different angles that we're showing you guys as to how you can approach your studying, so you can cut down on your study time, please do follow us, give us a like.
Yep.
Yep. Also you can give us a holler on our social media and let us know if there are other notes that you're struggling with. We can do everything, like from econs to accounts to, well, math. We will try our best. We're not math.
Mandarin. Erika, just do Mandarin.
Mandarin. I can do Japanese. I use ImagiNotes to learn Japanese, kanji, katakana, hiragana. Yeah, it makes it so easy. I taught my friends how to learn Hangul, how to read it in 2 days when we were on a study trip to Korea, actually. Yeah, so, oh my gosh, I think no one can see it, that's why. Sorry, guys. Move the camera back a bit. There we go. All right, do let us know next time if you can't see the notes, because sometimes I forget to make sure that this can be seen.
The book. Okay.
My apologies. So yeah, the Glomerular Capsule and the Furry Birdie. Furry Birdie. Okay. Then next we have the. Okay, I'm gonna leave the. If you notice, there's an artery and vein here, and capillaries. These lines here are capillaries. I'm gonna leave that for last for now. Okay. Anything to do with them, I'm gonna leave it for last. Yep. Okay. So this one here, we're gonna focus on the nephron first. So this one here, I'm gonna draw it upwards here. This is called the proximal convoluted tubule. So already, as you can see, back then, if we're really struggling to remember how to remember the eyeball and the ear with all these fancy names, what more? Something like afferent arterial and proximal convoluted tubule. And there's more. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's 6, 7 more of these kind of fancy terminology. All right. So how does one get through that, right? So proximal convoluted tubule. For me, I think for me it sounded like something really drama. So I like to draw, like, say if I have a screen here. Let's say I have a TV screen. All right. I like to draw like this big face. Oops, like that, and going like, and then the hand up on the forehead, and he's going like, "Woe is me." All right, so someone's super drama, like this close. All right, why? Because proximal sounds like proximity. Proximity means how near you are. Yeah. Convoluted tubule. So to me, dramas are generally very convoluted. Like, people can die and everyone gets their heart broken, but then they come back to life like in the next season or something. Like, soap operas. So and a tubule, sounds like TV tube. But that's for me. Yeah. Joe, how would you actually how would you draw something or do something to actually remember this? Because I'm a language-based person, so this is how I would do it. But how about yourself? How would you, like, and teacher Charles as well? How would you, like, go about drawing this out for yourself to remember?
Probably just go with like either the alphabet itself, like the first alphabet, or make up something for it.
Cool.
Procontu.
Procontu. Oh, I love procontu. Yeah, so you guys can do that as well. So that would be a form of abbreviation. Yeah, so you can breathe. Okay, so breathing abbreviation. Haha, gives you life. Okay, but that's also a reason why I do proximal, because there's also over on this side of the tube It's called can you guys see? Okay, need to make sure.
Can.
Distal convoluted
Discontinue.
tubule. Yeah. So for this one, I want a smaller pen here. So for this one, it sounds like distant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's a reason why I kind of did it that way, because like distal sounds to me very distant. So one, you have proximal, which sounds close, and then if I have a similar tube here, then I have got.
Teacher Charles say he memorized the old-fashioned way, kept redrawing until he remembered.
Oh gosh, Teacher Charles, I salute you. I really hate
How many drawings have you done just to remember this diagram?
By the way, Teacher Charles is a doctor by how do you call that? By qualification. Yeah. But he is an amazing teacher, an amazing teacher. Okay. So I've got the distal convoluted tubule, and Teacher Charles, that's how I used to memorize diagrams as well. It just doesn't work. I gave up. Yeah, I even tried memorizing Chinese alphabet the way they taught us in Chinese school, and it doesn't work either. Yeah, totally not. Oh, you're super curious how we use ImagiNotes to pull this off. Okay, this is how I teach geography, like how to remember the water cycle and also the whatchamacallit, the river. Yeah, the when they do a cross section of the river, the kids have to remember that. And my track record so far is that my students generally get pretty much 80% and above correct. Yeah, like each and every one of them. Yeah, so which is which is why we're doing this.
He says you of us are now amazing teachers. No, we're not.
Joe is. He's not trained to teach, but he handles kids wonderfully. No nonsense. Very no nonsense.
Just give them what they don't want.
Yes. Okay, let's continue. Where are we? Okay, let's see. All right, so over here then we have I'm gonna just do a dotted line across. This is what's known as the cortex, medulla.
Cortex medulla.
Junction.
Thank you, Teacher Charles.
Thanks, Teacher Charles. I didn't see it, but I'll assume. Okay, so this is the cortex medulla junction, and in the previous note that I created, I never did it this way, but I understand that's because I was only helping kids remember the diagram. But sometimes I have to try and include the function of it in the diagram. So the reason why I'm doing it this way is because the thingy, the whatever passes through here passes through the cortex and then the medulla, and it's basically in the textbook. Yeah, where that's the explanation. So if you do it this way, it's also easier to remember. Okay. Yeah. So over here, see, I like playing Crash Team Racing and Crash Bash or Crash Bandicoot. So there's this character in there called. I think his hair is like this. Okay. Right. He's like his name is the evil. Yeah. Yeah, his name, like he's called Neocortex, and like I remember he always likes to zoom whenever he overtakes you. The first thing he'll say is the wind in my hair, and you can clearly see he doesn't have much hair. So I always thought that was funny. Yeah, and then I'm gonna draw. This is okay. This is my take on. Okay, this is a really weird take on Medusa. Okay, so there we go.
Medusa.
Yeah, so Medulla to me looks like Medusa, so that's why the snakes. Okay, and then we can draw a junction here. We can draw a junction sign, but it's up to you because I drive, so I tend to like to use things like that. Yeah, there we go. So cortex, medulla, medulla, junction. Yeah, you can even draw a medal if you want, if that helps you
That's
remember.
met Medulla in the junction.
Yeah. And the last part here is the collecting
duct.
Collecting duct. Yeah, so duct. All right. Yeah, for me.
Ducks.
Right? It sounds like a duck, right? So I
Quack,
like to
quack,
draw
quack.
quack here.
Collecting rubber duck.
I'm gonna draw a duck holding a bucket to collect stuff.
Collecting water.
There we go. So we have a collecting duct, right? All right, last one. Okay, last one. This one here is called either the loop of Henle or the loop of the Nephron. So depending on where you're at, okay. For me, loop of Henle, I would probably draw a hand with a crown because it sounds like King Henry, but I want to remember Henle. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing this correct. Teacher Charles, please correct me. Yeah, because I never studied biology. I gave up on that. I went for it in favor of architectural drawing because my school was cool and offered that for government school. So this is called loop of the Nephron. Okay, so
I only remember we studied the heart diagram.
yeah, but I don't. Oh yeah, shucks. I don't remember any of that actually.
Oh, okay.
Oops. So loop of the Nephron here. It reminds me of it sounds like Lord of the something, like Lord of the Flies, Lord of the Rings. So for me, I would draw a wizard holding a wand, drawing loops with it.
Casting spells,
yeah. But the spell's going in a loop, so you remember that it's the loop of the Nephron, and so you have Mr. Gandalf here going, you shall not pass. I'm just kidding. We're so narrow out there. Okay, let's see. It's 8:28. Yes, okay, Joe, you and I predicted correctly. Mm-hmm. As usual, guys, we love, oh, thanks, Teacher Charles. So cute. So we love to keep this short, all right? So yes, Teacher Charles says getting to the heart of the method. So we like to keep our live sessions short and simple. So next week we will figure out how to remember the peritubular artery. We've got a few more things to go, right? The interlobular artery, interlobular vein, all right? The venule and the peritubular capillary network. Oh, yes.
Yep.
Okay, so next week we will show you guys how to remember the rest of that. So see, it's a mouthful, right? Can you imagine if you had to try to remember, like really memorize, like without all these fun pictures? Can you imagine having to memorize just like glomerular? And I
can't. It's like doesn't make sense at all.
It will come to the point where I'll be like, Joe, I can't brain anymore.
Glomerular something.
Glomerular network. Glomerular capsule.
I would be thinking like, does it glow?
Yeah, but the thing is that if I close this diagram tomorrow and you guys and make Joe sort of like name the diagram, right? If I give him fill in the blanks thing, he'd probably remember about 80% of this. Yeah. He just doubts himself. I always do this, like when I test my students, like I'll teach them a bit of the Hangul alphabet, and then I just won't touch it for 2 weeks, and then I'll come back in the class and I'll go, okay guys, do you remember this letter? Do you remember this letter? And do you remember this letter? And like a week or two later, with no revision whatsoever, they actually remember like the 5 or 6 or 7 alphabets that I taught them.
Whoa.
Yeah, to there's a thing. At least 5 out of 7 of them, at most 7 out of 7. So we know this works. Yeah. And the other reason why you want to do this also is because it cuts down your study time. Yeah, because when you look at this and you did the notes yourself, you can tell at a glance.
Yes.
Yeah. exactly what you need to remember.
You may not remember the term itself, but all these like little events will actually bring you there.
Yes, exactly that. Yeah, and that's what we realized looking back on the other notes that we've done for like the separation techniques and all that. So you guys can go there and check it out. And if you got value from this today and lots of tips on how to cut down on your studying time, let us know in the comments. Give us a like, hit the subscribe button. And Joe, if they want more ImagiNotes so that they don't have to study so hard, where should they go?
They can follow our Instagram. They can come to our channel, subscribe to the channel. Right now we're on Twitch also. Yep.
Yes. So yep, we'll come back again next week with the rest of the thing and maybe some study tips because we also teach kids how to study better. We teach our students how to study better as a school. We've been doing it for the past 26 years, and if for those of you who are wondering, does it work? We have managed to, without making them sit down, shut up and listen to us, which is typically what happens in school. I hated that. We would actually, and not 100% of the time, right, Teacher Charles? So we would actually, because our school is generally very noisy. It's hard to explain, but our school is noisy. Kids get up and and as much as possible, we make them do a lot of the learning, instead of listen to a lot of the learning, because doing helps you retain 90%. So kind of like doing an ImagiNote and using your imagination helps you remember 90% of what you've learned. Okay. And what this has culminated into is basically 1 out of 5 of our students being able to get straight A's, and we don't filter our students. We don't go like, oh, you there, yes, you're a smart one, aren't you? You got straight A's in the UPSR, or you got straight A's in the PMR. Those are our major exams that we have to do. 12 and 15 years of age. So we don't only take in the good students, because our founder believes that a good teacher, any teacher can make a good student great.
Yep.
Right, because they're really smart, right? But what makes a teacher great is to be able to take an average student and help them become great. And so many of our students have actually gone through that. So our passing rate, and also basically most of the time, based on the bell curve, only 20% of students can get A's.
Yep.
Yeah, but in our school, it's actually a lot more than that. Yeah, and we have a lot of fun. We go to water parks for physics, to do physics and math experiments, and conduct our lessons there. Yeah, there's a bunch of crazy things that we do. Yeah, check out Teacher Charles, and check out the school pages. You guys will see. Yeah, you guys will see like a lot of the crazy things that we do there. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that is it. We will see you guys next week at the same time. Wednesdays, 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Yeah. And if you guys are watching the replay, thanks. We hope today you got at least half of the Nephron diagram. We'll do the next half next week.
Half of it.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys. Have a great week.
Yep. Have a great week, every week. Have a great week ahead. Ta-da. Bye, guys.